How are you, Raj?
Doing fantastic, Jimmy.
Feel like celebrating with something?
Let's do it. Tell me what we got here.
We should always be celebrating with bubbles. It's funny, people don't drink sparkling wine enough. And the reason I say sparkling wine rather than calling it champagne is everything's not champagne just because it has bubbles. In fact, if it's not grown in Champagne, France, it's not. In fact, they can't even call it champagne if it's made in France, but right outside that region. So today we just thought we'd talk about 3 different sparkling wines and what's the difference. How's that?
I think it sounds great. I want to say, I've seen this image. Let me just say, I guess this is what, a yellow, orange? I don't
Oh,
know
it's
what's
yellow.
that. Orange, we'll call it. I've seen this a lot in like the city, New York. Is it, they have a lot of advertising dollars behind them? I mean, what, I don't even know what it is, to tell you the God's honest truth. But what is it? The box is very familiar to me, so I've definitely seen it in my travels. But and I see a lot of people buy it. So tell me about it.
First of all, it is champagne, and it has a big history behind it. You could do an entire video just on the Veuve Clicquot. You can even Google that. There's a book called Veuve Clicquot. But champagne, what's different about champagne is the secondary fermentation happens inside the bottle. That's not the case on every sparkling wine. And it can be 3 different grapes: Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Pinot Meunier. They don't use Pinot Meunier as much anymore. But that secondary fermentation in the bottle is what makes the big difference. And it gives that buttered, brioche, yeasty, sometimes beery taste. That's a taste that a lot of wine fanatics and geeky people like me love a lot. Then again, some people want a cleaner taste. So then you move on to what's called a Prosecco. The Prosecco is made in an entirely different process. In order to get the CO2 there, actually put all the juice in a big tank, and then they pump in the CO2. That's called the Charmat method. The grape is called Glera. So if people say, it's the same, right? Well, they got the bubbles there different. They use a different grape, and it's made in different countries. So if you consider that to be the same, I guess. This one, by the way, Nino Franco just got the #1 wine for wine enthusiasts. It shocked the hell out of me, only because it's a value. We're selling it for $15.99, for God's sakes. So, right now, bubbly in America, Prosecco is the king. Then we have a Cava from Spain. The Cava makes it, quote, method champenois, made like champagne, but with 3 different grapes. So I think if you wanted to mimic champagne and get a great value, you can get a Cava from Spain. If you have the money to buy champagne, salute. But if you would like to drink something a little bit cleaner, or make Bellinis or something like that, you're welcome to use a Prosecco and be perfectly happy. How's that?
That sounds good. So price point wise, from this to say some of these other bottles here, big difference?
Big difference.
Okay, but you're saying we can get them into something with a similar taste that may not have that
You
price
can.
point.
A Cava is exactly that. You can get the taste of a champagne. Now it's going to be different. The price doesn't always matter. And some people say I think cheaper bottles are better than expensive bottles. That's not the case for champagne, I assure you.
All right. So, but does it? I guess it rings true to some extent. So, like, say, I always use not the parody, but I always say, Weber grill. You spend the money on a Weber grill, you're getting a grill that's going to last a few years. So it has some.
It is.
It does work.
Oh, it does. And champagne. Granted, it's easy to say, but is it worth the money? Well, if you had it, it's worth the money. Champagne also comes in vintages. Now, they only declare the vintage maybe 3 times out of 10, but if everything's perfect, they'll declare the vintage and you can see vintage champagnes. But more times than not, you're going to see a non-vintage champagne, which to me is better because they're blending other vintages together. But if you really want to get the case, drink a Cava.
I love this. I don't know how else to put it. Jimmy has such good knowledge. I could have used you through my wedding, so many events where, I've probably just used my own rationale and reasoning in my decisions when it came to alcohol. Please utilize Jimmy and his expertise here. I hope you see that on these videos we do. It's why we do these videos.
Let's open some champagne.
Yeah, let's do it. So for that, I'm Roger Wilco.
I'm Jimmy Quail.
And this is product reviews here at your favorite hometown store, Roger Wilco.